How you doing, everybody? Matt here with American Campfire Creations, and tonight I'm going to be doing something a little different. I'm going to make a ham, cheese, and potato casserole in the campfire in my iron skillet. I'm going to get all the ingredients together, prepped inside the RV, and then get them in my iron skillet and put it out here in the coals, let that bake up, and then get that smoky flavor from inside the fire pit, and then take it inside and enjoy. So I'll go ahead and get my fire pit here lit, and I'll take everybody inside and show you how I put it together. So I talked about this in my last cooking video with these coals in the chimney like this. Basically all you got to do, get your coals, fold up in here, and then put something underneath as an ignition source to actually burn up through the coals. And all I have here is some dry brush, some leftover pieces of firewood that I had from fire we had when we first got here. And all I'm going to do is just light that up and get it burning up through the coals. So I'm going to let this go ahead and burn, and I'm going to go ahead and get the coals nice and hot and ashy, and I'm going to go inside and prep the ingredients for the casserole. Okay, so we're inside now, and for the ingredients that I'm going to use tonight, I'm going to stick to using vegan cheese for the casserole. So I have two different types of vegan cheese here. I got the cheddar and the smoked gouda. We're going to use some ham that's already sliced up. I'm just going to go ahead and cut it, dice it a little bit. We're going to use some sweet peppers, gluten-free breadcrumbs that are going to go on top of the casserole, some almond milk and egg, creating sort of like a creamy, cheesy sauce inside, and then some garlic and red skin potatoes that I'll large dice and put all that together here in my iron skillet. So I have my peppers cut up here. I'm going to go ahead and cut up my ham. So I have my potatoes par cooked, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get my iron skillet on the fire, some butter down in there, the gluten-free flour, go ahead and make up a roux, let the flour cook a little bit, add my liquid to that, let it thicken with the cheese, add my potatoes, and some of the starch from the potatoes will also help thicken the sauce a little bit. Add my ham, peppers, let all this, cover it all with foil, let it cook until all of this gets combined really well and you start seeing the casserole actually kind of bind together. Uncover it and get some of the smoky fire flavor from the campfire. So I'm back out here on the fire. As you can see, I got my coals nice and red hot. I already dumped them out of my chimney. What I'm going to do is I'm going to place my iron skillet right over the top of it and rest it on these rocks here. And I'll go ahead and get my roux started. So what we'll do is we'll let our butter melt here a little bit. With the roux, you don't want to let your butter burn. So as soon as it starts to melt, you're going to go ahead and add your flour. And same with the flour. Once it mixes with the roux, you don't want to burn the flour. The darkness of the roux depends on how dark you want your sauce to be. So because we're making a cheese sauce, I want this roux to stay nice and light colored. So what we're going to do is we're going to combine all the butter and let the flour itself actually cook down, cook a little bit. That way you don't get that raw flour flavor in your sauce. And then we'll go ahead and add our liquids and let that start to cook down. Now the trick with roux is that you don't want to add hot liquid to a hot roux or a cold roux to a cold liquid. Those. I'm going to go ahead and add my liquid. Because we really want the casserole to be nice and cheesy. We're going to add our other cheese, which is some sliced smoked gouda. And then we're going to add our gluten-free breadcrumbs on top, which I actually just crushed up some gluten-free pretzels and added a little bit of Italian seasoning to it. Worked out great. We couldn't find gluten-free breadcrumbs at the store we were at, so we'll improvise and made my own. We'll let this melt down and thicken a little bit. I'm going to put the foil over it, and then I'm going to maneuver the pan around so that I'm not getting all the heat generated in one area. I want this to cook evenly throughout, so because we're doing this on a campfire and not on a burner or in the stove like in the house, we gotta constantly be keeping an eye on this so that it doesn't burn on one side and doesn't cook on the other. So I'm gonna go ahead and get my foil on. I'm gonna leave this on here for about 15 minutes. Give it a look over, make sure I'm not getting any burning on my edges or on the bottom, and then yeah, we'll get it inside and take a look at how it turned out. Well, I got my casserole baking here. I went ahead and put it on my grate so I could raise it up off of that direct heat a little bit, just so that I don't run into any problems with it getting too hot on the bottom of my iron skillet. But as of right now, when I checked inside, it is cooking absolutely perfectly. The sides have that beautiful meltiness to them. Everything's combining inside and thickening. I'm just waiting for the top cheese to finish melting, but as of right now, I know it's a bit unconventional making a casserole this way, but this is going to turn out absolutely amazing, and you all see that when I take it inside and undo this. And I wish I could explain to you how good this smells with the ham and the cheese and the garlic. It's just phenomenal. So I'm gonna go ahead and give this about 10 more minutes and then get it inside. Got the iron skillet inside now. I'm going to go ahead and take the foil off. All right, so as you can see here, everything got nice and melted. You can see the cheese and the sauce actually bubbling a little bit down on the sides of the iron skillet. I know it's hard to tell from the video here, but the breading actually got a good amount of browning from just the heat generated from this iron skillet. But these breadcrumbs were actually already toasted, so I didn't really need to brown them. All I was really looking to do was just have this thicken up and get all the cheese nice and melted. So I'm going to go ahead and split it a little bit here. Super nice, super juicy, super cheesy, and absolutely delicious. So as I see it here, without having tasted it yet, I can tell that this is absolutely going to be amazing. So the smell from this is so nice right now. That Italian seasoning and the breadcrumbs and the garlic down here and the actual sauce. So ham, potato, cheese casserole off the campfire was definitely a success. Can't wait to actually dig into this thing. Like always, I'll put all the information on how to make this down in the description below. If you like this video, please give it a thumb up and subscribe to the channel. So I'm going to go ahead and get off here now, and I will see everybody around the next campfire. Have a good night, everybody.